Welcome all to the Parsons State Insane Asylum. This asylum plays a pivotal role in the Cabot House line of quests. I'm working on another video that goes through the Cabot House quest line in depth, but I wanted to focus with this video on the Parsons State Insane Asylum itself because it's such a cool and interesting building with its own rich and interesting lore, and during the quest line you just zip through it really quickly. So I wanted to focus on it a little bit today. Now, as you can see, I've already done the quest, so we're going to be going through the Insane Asylum after it's already been cleared. There are enemies all over the place, but let's show you what's inside.
If you think this is bad, you should see some of the blokes I beat up at the combat zone.
Thanks there, Kate. Now, the bulk of what we learn about the Insane Asylum actually comes from Jack Cabot's terminal over here. Jack Cabot, who is the main character in the Cabot line of quests, actually owns this Insane Asylum. He's the one in charge of it. Let's take a look at the terminal.
Looks like someone...
We learn from the terminal here in Parsons that Jack Cabot has been the owner and superintendent of the Parsons State Insane Asylum since the 1800s. Lorenzo was admitted to the Insane Asylum on June 11th, 1898. He was born in 1835. This is the alternative that Jack negotiated with the government of Boston instead of his father being placed on death row. But we also find a motley cast of characters being incarcerated in the Insane Asylum. Some of these are really sad. Antonio de Soto was incarcerated on Christmas Eve of 2068, and his family put him there. What could this man have done on Christmas Eve to warrant his entire family wanting him to go to an insane asylum? The next is Anelia Stowe, who admitted herself into the insane asylum in 2072. She doesn't get visitors, she is not violent, but during her counseling sessions with Jack Cabot, she revealed the fact that she likely poisoned 4 sorority sisters at Massachusetts Bay University. A curious note is that her treatment is art therapy, and Jack finds the results of this art therapy to be troubling. Next is Bobby Smith, who came to the Insane Asylum in 2074, and he's only 10 years old. He is sentenced to 8 years of isolation in this insane asylum. The Massachusetts Department of Juvenile Services remanded the patient into the custody of Jack Cabot, and his family refuses to visit, even though they live locally. The reason he is here is because he killed multiple people by stabbing, and he laughs about his crimes. In fact, the only way to stop young Bobby from laughing is to play Bach's Toccata in Fugue in D minor, the only piece to stop his laughter. I can't play it for copyright reasons, but you all know what this fugue sounds like. Da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. Right, I'll stop singing now. It is quite a song to be the only one to satiate the young killer. Then there's the disturbing story of Cherise Fano. Admitted in 2076, she's given many freedoms, including the ability to wear her own clothing, which is black leather, as long as she remains on good behavior. The reason she's admitted is because she's suffering from, paraphilia, which is a disorder somehow related to extreme sexual desires. I'll let you guys Google that one. I won't get into it too much here. But what's disturbing here is that she gets frequent conjugal visits from approved male associates, and then she discusses these visits with Jack Cabot. His treatment is contemplative psychotherapy and shock therapy. She may like that shock therapy. Just a warning there, Jack. That's a disturbing entry there. And finally, and most peculiarly, is the incarceration of the man only known as Night War. He was admitted in 2074 in his own isolation chamber. He refuses to share his real name, claiming that it's his secret identity. He believes he's a superhero, and he has to be isolated from other inmates to avoid altercations. The treatment is reality therapy and extended counseling. So that's the history we get from the terminal, but there's a lot more to see in this place, including some rather disturbing stuff behind some locked doors. Here's one on the top floor. Let's see what's behind this door, and nothing. Okay, so I just sold you a bill of goods. Oh, but here we go. Something in this safe. One of the things I wanted to show you with this dungeon is just all of the different places that it's easy to overlook when you run through the dungeon doing the quest, because the quest takes you right down to the basement. And here I am showing off how poorly I pick locks. Yeah, almost there. There we go. The quest takes you right down to the basement, and you often don't get the grand tour of things, so I wanted to take you on the grand tour. So the reason we're going up into the attic is because the guys who came in here, the raiders, they shut down. They locked up all of the doors that led directly to the elevator. So we had to go through this roundabout way up into the attic and then down here to get to the elevator so that we could go down to the rest of the facility. But in so doing, and see, here we are back. This led us back out here to where we can get to the elevator. And then this elevator will take us down. In so doing, we get a great tour of the bowels of this insane asylum and some of the twisted things that went on here. And I've got Kate with me because she sometimes says some interesting dialogue as she walks through the insane asylum. At least she did when I went through last time. So this is the main chamber where Lorenzo was being held.
I'm not touching anything. I don't even know what half this stuff does.
Thanks there, Kate. He was being held in here, and I've already completed the quest. But a few things to show off is that first, Lefty has 4 vials of mysterious serum on him, which is important to take. And then also, over on the table here, we've got more mysterious serum.
Yes.
So you can get a total of 7 vials of mysterious serum, even if you didn't free Lorenzo Cabot. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. I have a video coming out either tomorrow or the day after where I'm going to go through this entire quest line and show you all of the different options. But basically, mysterious serum is really powerful. Here, I'll show you. Mysterious serum removes 36,000 rads. It basically completely cures you of rads, grants you 50 damage resist, and 5 strength. Let's take one, and then check out our stats here. Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to last, but it's removing 10 rads a tick, plus 50 damage resist, and plus 5 strength. And let's test it to see how long that it lasts. But the rest of the facility is on in here. This is going to bring us into the old part of the insane asylum, which is, of course, the cool part. So remember that this place has been here for a very long time. The Cabot family is over 400 years old. They've been using the mysterious serum to stay young forever. And Jack Cabot has been in charge of the Parsons State's insane asylum at least since the 1860s, which is the first date we have for him in incarcerating or admitting his father into that bottom cell. So from the 1860s until the bombs dropped, he was bringing new people in. We learned that
This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna rip your limbs off. Better have something good on you.
Whoa! How did you get in here? What was that? It looks like a berserker raider came in here, and the berserkers have used the mysterious serum, which is why they're much more powerful than normal raiders. But anyway, basically what happened is Jack Cabot, in order to provide a better cover for his father, continued to admit patients into his insane asylum while his father was here. But when the bombs dropped, he no longer needed to do that, so he kind of let all of his patients starve. And so we find their cells and their bodies all over the place. So on this first floor, we have a few different cells we can unlock, and each of them tells a different story.
Not one bit.
Remember, we learned about each of these inmates in that terminal. I believe there were 5 or 6, so it's an interesting guessing game to figure out which of these skeletons is which inmate, and we really don't have an answer, so I'll leave that up to you. Now I'm trying to figure out which was the best way. Yeah, I believe there was only that one. So that one has a mannequin, that one has a skeleton, And then those are the only two. So then we need to go up on into here. And if Kate will get out of my way, there we go. Through here and up on here to get to the top floor, which is going to bring us to more of the cells. There we go. So this is the main floor for the insane asylum. So on the left-hand side here, looks like there's no skeleton on in here. I think this is one of the few that doesn't have a skeleton, and I believe this is the creepy door. Yeah. That's the creepy door. Not sure why this would be in an insane asylum. Did the raiders put this up in the short time that they were in charge here? Or is it something that Jack did just for fun? But, yeah. I'm gonna knock all these over because they're bothering me. There we go. I'm feeling much better about things.
Damn. What the hell happened here?
Great question, Kate. Alright, so we've got this guy, and he's fishing into this toilet bowl. Which is a weird thing to do. I don't know if he was posed to do this, or if he was just mad and thought that he could find a fish in there. And this one is actually broken, so you can't get in there. But you can. You have to go through another way, and I'll show you that way right now. So this one is open. There's nothing in here, but there is a broken wall, and we find that these two inhabitants.
I know this sounds crazy, but well. This place is giving me the creeps.
That's not crazy at all, Kate. This place is meant to give the creeps, but you need to stop talking so much. She's a chatterbox today. Looks like these two inmates managed to break down the walls and meet each other in the middle here, where they shared one final loving kiss before they died. This was her cell, it looks like, and then this was his cell, and they managed to find each other in death. And then here's this one, and this is the one I showed off in my video on Poseidon Energy. This one has the cryptic scrawlings on the ground. This guy tried to escape. There he is. His body is hanging out of that concrete wall over here. So he tried to tunnel through this wall to get on out. And then there's a body shoved under the bed here. Oh my gosh. This is quite unexplained. I don't know if he shoved himself under there and then died, or if somebody shoved him under there. Well, looks like there are footprints. Oh, I'm just now noticing that there are footprints on the bed. So someone has been in here. That's interesting. Someone wearing shoes. Look at those footprints too. Oh, I'm just now noticing that. There are a bunch of footprints in the dirt over here, and they're on the bed, but this cell door has been locked for hundreds of years. So those footprints must have been made back in 2077. So what happened is Jack Cabot no longer really needed to keep this place functional to keep up an appearance, so he basically locked everyone in their cells and let them starve to death. We know this because there are no ghouls here, right? It's not like people died from radiation or anything. This is underground. It likely was shielded from radiation. And when you come through here, you kill a bunch of raiders, but you don't kill any ghouls. And then as you see, we're coming upon these doors for the first time, and we're unlocking them. Here, let's unlock this one. This one has been locked for over 200 years, and we find a skeleton. So the only explanation is that when the bombs dropped, Jack Cabot and Edward Deegan rushed to the Parsons State Insane Asylum to check on Lorenzo to make sure that he was okay and that the power hasn't gone down. And then while they were here, they just locked everyone in their cells because they no longer needed this place as cover, ignored everyone, and everyone starved to death. That is my best guess. But in here, I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. This is similar to the quandary that I had with the Poseidon Energy Plant. Okay, so we've got 3 question marks on the wall, each in different places, 1 solid line, 2 squiggling lines, and then on the ground the words "help me" spelled out in chalk. One thing I mentioned on my Discord server to some viewers is, why would the guy take the time to spell the words "help me" with chalk when he could use the chalk to draw the words "help me" on the wall? You'd think that would be easier to do. He would exert less effort to just draw "help me" on the wall than to take all of these pieces and carefully and gingerly organize them in such a way so that it spelled the word "help me." Also, no one can see this. It's not like they could see. I suppose you could see through that grate, But who is he asking to help him? Himself? He's got the words "help me" hidden behind this desk. Who's going to see that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into this. The poor guy never got any help because there he is.
Only thing better than getting pissed is picking a fight. Am I right?
Sure there, Kate, you violent lady. My goodness. He didn't get very far. He crawled through, but then died. Died of starvation, I guess. But what do these question marks in the lines mean? I don't have an answer for you, ladies and gentlemen. We had a lot of interesting theories when I presented this same question in my Poseidon energy video, but I don't really, I didn't walk away from that with a solid answer. So I'll be eager to hear what you guys have to say about this. And then we've got this one. Who's this guy? There's a case of bobby pins, and he's just laying here. No real story with him, although he is in the tallest cage. Look at the ceiling height on these. Let's check out the ceiling height on this one. It's so much lower. Look, all of these have really low ceiling height. Except for this one. This one has really high ceiling height. And the bulb is way down there. Oh, glitch. It doesn't mean anything, though. That's just a glitch. And then this is how we came on down into here. So this has some hand bones in it, but I didn't see a skeleton. And then this is how we came in here when we needed to for the quest. So just hop on back up here and weave our way back through the facility. This is such a cool
Leave that
building.
junk behind. You're just wasting space.
You know what? Calm down there, Kate. I've got my reasons. I need aluminum because I gotta fix up this power armor. But we find skeletons that are not even in the cages. Here are some skeletons. Look, we've got 3 different skulls here. These poor guys got crushed under this rubble. Were these employees? Or maybe these were patients that were not in solitary confinement. Because the terminals did say that some of them were in solitary confinement, like the 10-year-old boy, who only stopped laughing if you played Bach's Fugue, which is a great song. A great choice on Bethesda's part for a crazy little kid. And then I believe there was one more really creepy room that I'm trying to find. And here we go. Here's more skeletons. This leads us on up. I want to see if I can find that creepy room. And maybe I missed it. It was basically... well, let me run through here real quick, see if I missed a locked door. It was behind a locked door. It's got to be up in this way. But anyway, so this crashed down. This doesn't make a lot of sense, the way that this... there's another skeleton. The way this insane... And another one. Man, they're just everywhere. The way this insane asylum is laid out doesn't make a lot of logical sense, but it is such a cool place. It's extremely unique. You don't find any other place like this in the entire game. And for that reason alone, I really enjoy it, and I'm glad that Bethesda took the time and energy to put it in here. Let's see. Is this the room? Nope, this is not the room. But this does lead out around here, which leads us... There's the room. Alright, are you ready for the creepy door number 2? This one, I believe, is locked. So we already unlocked the door, or actually it wasn't even locked, it was just a closed door. The door that had all of the mannequins in a circle, and now we've got the door that has...
Got it.
The creepy clapper monkeys. Oh, I'm hidden. That's right, it stopped. Hold on, let me move. Try again, guys. There you go. I'm going to move. Clap. There we go. The creepy clapper monkeys. And I don't have an explanation for that either. Maybe... I'm thinking this is the kids' ward, right? Because you've got these small kids' beds. And, I mean, there is Mentats and Buff Out. What do you need Buff Out for in the kids' room? But they do have blocks on the ground. Oh, F you? Really, Bethesda? Bethesda's telling me to to F you. Gosh, thanks guys. Real mature. But they do have toys in here. Here's a toy truck and then Halloween decorations on the wall. So I'm thinking this is the children's ward, which, if so, I mean, they do have all of these clapper toys. That's disturbing. We've got an entire wing for children and no bodies, no skeletons, of course, because Bethesda doesn't like putting child bodies in Fallout 4. At least not explicitly. And then, I think that's one of the final rooms we can explore. Lots of wheelchairs over here. Yeah, 2 wheelchairs in the corner here. I just find it really sad that if it's true that Jack Cabot completely ignored all of his patients... There we go. This will take us into the next portion If it's true that Jack Cabot ignored all of his patients when the bombs dropped because there was no longer a need for him to create this cover for himself, then that means that he's kind of responsible for all of their deaths. All of these mentally ill people were sealed in their cages, sealed in their cells, and they starved or suffocated to death. And these poor people, look, I mean, they've got these wheelchairs out here. This is the only time they would ever see sunlight. Look at how creepy this is, right? It's an enclosed area with these skylights, and there are wheelchairs all over the place and some plants. This is the only daylight that some of these poor people would see. Here are all of these wheelchairs scattered around.
Let's just get through this garden quickly. I'm starting to hate this place.
Wow, that's some unique dialogue for this very specific place. Yeah, it is creepy, Kate. I hear you. What's that? No, it's not. And then in the back here, we've got a little cubby hole that leads to the laundry room. Nothing really interesting in here, just if you've got Scrounger, then each of those acts as a container, which gives you a greater chance of getting some ammunition. But that's really the only interesting thing in there. And then this brings us back out to the entry. So there's the elevator over here. This is the elevator that we took down to get to Lorenzo's cell. And then that leads up to the attic. And then coming back through here leads to the bottom where we found the cells. And that's the entire Parsons State Insane Asylum. And that's the only terminal that has anything interesting in it. The only other terminal is down by Lorenzo's cell, which just talks about the Abremelin field and its whether or not it's active or not. And I will be talking more about the Abremelin field in my video on the Cabot house, which I hope to have done for you soon. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the full story.
Place, eh?
Yes, Kate, thank you for that apt observation. She comes into this place that hasn't been active since 2077, and she goes, oh, this place sure is a mess. Yes, Kate. Thank you for stating the obvious. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
If you think this is bad, you should see some of the blokes I beat up at the combat zone.
Really? I want to get one sentence out. One sentence before I end this video, Kate. Can you stop talking for just like 2 minutes, please? Stop talking for 2 minutes. Anyway, there you go. That's the full story of the Parsons State Insane Asylum, one of the most unique interior cells in the game. It's creepy, it's filled with great loot. You get a bobblehead and a magazine and tons of ammunition. It's part of a really interesting quest line. It's thematic. I just love it. This is such a great dungeon. So stay tuned for my video on the Cabot house. I'm hoping to get that done by tomorrow or in the next day or so, and that will lift the veil on the entire storyline surrounding both the Cabot house and the Parsons State Insane Asylum. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow morning bright and early with a brand new video.